Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AGAP International TV. AGAP International TV is partnering with Elder Max Media to give you the insight of the political situation as it is in the country Kenya. We're going to be talking to quite a number of people coming to our studios, and they are going to give us their emotions. They're going to give us their opinions and leave back their emotions, and look at the inside and look at the leaders, delve into their personalities, what they believe in, what their parties believe in, and actually the practicability of the things that they say in political rallies. We were looking at today. We actually want to look at only one leader, comparing them with other leaders, and the person in question today was the TNA, actually Jubilee designated Deputy President, Honorable William Ruto, ICC suspect and member of Parliament for Eldoret North, owner of Marco Insurance, Berber Company of Properties Limited, and a host of all other funny companies and phony companies. Ladies and gentlemen, as we look at the personalities of this particular leader, we are actually going to talk about what he believes in, what he does, if they actually reflect the kind of person that he portrays himself to be. So literally, we have actually looked at Ruto as a person who takes advantage of any situation, whether tragic, a good situation, or any predicament to gain. Either he gains it politically, or if he doesn't gain it politically, he gains it financially, or if he doesn't gain it financially, he gains maybe some sort of popularity, or if he doesn't gain out of popularity, he gains by actually trying. Take for example the issue of Mao Forest. The Mao Forest was a government project to get people out of the Mao Forest, but Ruto just realized a situation like that just one time, and he went to the press after people were told to get out. In fact, by the way, the people of Mao were actually advised to leave the Mao, and they left out of their own volition, but they went to the roadside. And then leaders like Ruto went to them and told them, just park here, no, you are not going anywhere, this should not have been done to you. Then Ruto goes to say, well, I don't have anything, I have nothing against kicking people out of Mao, but that should not have been the situation. It should not have been done that way. It should have been done in a better way. But actually, truly speaking, he wanted to get at Raila. These people actually went to the forest. They lived in the forest. They didn't have titles. They actually encouraged in the forest. So now Ruto goes in and says Raila kicked the people out of it. One, in the coalition government, really, Raila Odinga does not command even an AP to shoot even one bullet. It is not a commander-in-chief. Who sent these askaris to tell the people to go? Truly speaking, the askaris went there actually to maintain peace and order. No askaris were actually in the last batch of people who were taken out of, who were pushed out of Mao. There are no askaris who forced them out of Mao. If there is anything that is very, very painful ever to have actually happened to the people of Mao initially, was when Honorable Kimunya was a minister for lands. I remember this situation. People had bought land in this particular area we are talking about. They had bought land, especially soldiers who had gone to Sierra Leone. They came up with their money from UN, the earnings from UN and all that. They went and bought land. They had titles. They had built schools. They had built churches. They had built homes. I mean, they bought land and they settled there. But Kimunya ordered these people, askaris. They went and burned all the houses. They went and burned all the stores with food inside. They burned the schools. They burned the churches that people had established over time, and kicked these people out. And I think that was the most painful and most callous and nonchalant act ever committed by a government to his people. The only person who stood out in defense of these people whose churches were burnt whose schools were burnt, whose barns with a lot of crop, a lot of grain inside were burnt, was Henry Koskei. I remember Henry Koskei going at Parliament buildings. He was actually almost pulling Kimunya out of his car, just trying to tell him, why did you order these people to get out of this land? Yet they had actually bought land, and the titles were actually given by the same government that is actually kicking them out. I mean, surely that was very, very painful, ludicrous, and ridiculous for a government. I don't know why Ruto as an MP who actually advocates for human rights, advocates for people's rights, he never raised an issue on that particular issue. Up to this day, those people have not been compensated. Those people's houses have been burnt. Everything else, they lost everything that they had invested in the lands that they bought in. Ruto never raised a finger. But he came now to raise a finger after Raila told people walk out of the forest, who walked on their own, with their own things. But the people who the government actually kicked them out and burned their houses, done by Kimunya. I remember even Kimunya was saying a title deed in Parliament, he said that title deed is just worth a paper. And the only thing that Ruto said in defense of those people said it could just be as worth as a toilet paper. But the only person who showed emotion, who showed direction and leadership in this particular issue of Mao was Henry Koskei, who actually took it on personally with Kimunya. By that time, even Koskei was not in ODM with Raila and all that. And that was just before this coalition government came in. And that was the most painful thing. And he's never advocated for any compensation for these people, and he's never even raised funds for them. I don't know where those people are. So maybe Ruto knows. So that is how Ruto takes an advantage of anything whenever it presents itself. So when Mao presented itself, he went on to raise funds for them. He went every other time to go and pretend like he cares for them. But I don't know where those people are. He doesn't even know themselves. I remember somebody from Eldoret North, Ruto had been invited for fundraising. He went there and found some lady singing. Then he said, no. Times for singing are gone. We don't need songs because songs cannot build a nation. It cannot develop with songs. And then within a short time, this guy flies to Mao, where the people are outside the road. Then these people are singing to him. He was dancing and happy with them. Then the people, somebody from Eldoret North was saying, now what is wrong with the song that you are singing here? When we sang here, this guy says, you said in Kalenjin, we don't build nation with songs. But when he goes to Mao, he wants to listen to those people singing to him. Then you wonder now. Then there's one of the people quote, isn't that song the same as the song we would have sung? So that is how Ruto takes advantage of situations. He takes advantage of anything. He wants to make a gain out of any move, anything. So I'm going back to how he actually tried to make advantage of Mudavadi's invitation into the Jubilee. Well, when Uhuru was actually talked to by the Shaitanis he talked about, he was actually advised and he was told about the issues that would actually befall this Kenyan country if both of them are going to be they are going to be in ICC, and they'll be passing their cases as it progresses. Then I was talking about Joe Wanjui, who owns a substantial interest in export companies, coffee, tea, and all sorts of things that we mentioned earlier on. So when Uhuru signed the deal, he was so tired, and he knows. I mean, he was very candid. And for once, I kind of liked Uhuru's honesty. He came and said, "Oh, nini nikaambiwa sijui hata hiyo shetani alifanyaje." Then Uhuru looks at Ruto and says, "Now, what am I going to do?" And I think there was a deal. And any deal that comes in, I think Ruto had actually been promised something by Uhuru and to join Jubilee. Then Ruto tells him, "Man, and you have accepted and you've signed yourself out?" He told Uhuru, "Don't accept it. Go and ask Wanjui and his henchmen and those people around State House to give us some billions of shillings." Then, this is now the crux of the matter. And this one is from a very reliable source. And even if you can follow the Cheche in Citizen, Ruto himself was saying, Uhuru had accepted. out of honesty, out of a good heart. But only those principles, those mashetanis, there's something that they didn't do. They didn't honor their side of the bargain. That is what Ruto kept on saying. They didn't honor their side of the bargain. The side of the bargain was these guys refused to give them money. Because the argument was, the groups of Joe and Joey were saying, now how can we give these boys the money? And they got most of these deals free from the government. Ruto got deals free from Moi's government. I mean, he never broke a sweat, despite the fact that maybe the only time that Ruto broke a sweat is when he was selling chicken by the railway station, as he says. But otherwise, he has actually said he's a hustler. A hustler actually, in the very descriptive names of a hustler is, a hustler is somebody who goes out of his way to get whatever he wants, irrespective of if he steps on other people's toes, if others get hurt. I mean, that is the name of a hustler. He's a hustler through and through. So, when this money was not forthcoming, then Ruto tells Uhuru, don't ever accept to give out this leadership. So that is why we were saying, ajui vile tulikuwa tumefanya, how did we start? Because Ruto was telling Uhuru, we've used a lot of money to build a brand, now we need money. So that is how he takes advantage of everything. Then Musalia himself was told, and then you're also going to part with something. Then Musalia looked at it and he says, well, yeah, I mean, Musalia doesn't have so much money. He has to go and ask for somebody else permission to say something. I mean, Musalia is not so much in control as per se. Somebody was saying he talked to him, and now aspirants in the diaspora went and talked to him, and Musalia looks like he doesn't want to make a commitment. He looks like he needs to consult somebody before he does anything. He's not himself. I mean, Musalia cannot be himself. I mean, he still thinks that he could consult somebody else to do something, but so he's not steady. He's not somebody. I mean, that's where I give Uhuru credit, because for him he can say something, though lately you're realizing that he gets so much inebriated. Even when he comes to press conferences, he's so inebriated, and it's so visible. And the fear is things are gonna be messy with Ruto around, because if you trust Ruto, surely be afraid, because he's not the kind of person, because he'll always take advantage of anything. I would even tell you that somebody said the world was coming to an end on 21st. If in a situation like that, and Ruto would even say, well, when the world comes to an end, surely, would you give me a deal to insure the world against all these calamities that might befall the country? Or you might just go maybe to Kas FM and say, okay, I mean, I need to broker a deal so that we can cover the end of the world live. Ruto will take an advantage of anything to make a gain. So that is just about a few things that I've observed about that. Other people just come and give us also their views, but that is who Ruto the man is. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen that, and let's see as things unfold. We'll come back to the studio again and let you know what we think and our opinions. Welcome again, and thank you, and have a good evening. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, gentlemen.